What is up, everyone? How's it going? You are now listening to Two Broken Escalators, the most interactive podcast on Twitch. I am your co host. My name is Kyle. Always has, always will be, unless I, of course, legally change it. And with me, the man who doesn't wear sunglasses, the prettiest man with or without a beard I've ever seen, and a great merch store you should check out, by the way. Mr. Noble, how you doing today?
I really wanted to come in and be a dick, but that was so nice. I was just gonna do a shitty wave and be like, "Hi, go ahead, talk about the show." I was just gonna go, "Hi." That's really nice, though.
Yeah, I've been known to be really nice and caring for my friends.
Ugh. That's how we're starting. We'll get to why I hate you in a little bit. But ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of Two Broken Escalators, episode number 17. My lucky number, if you didn't know. The title of this episode is Dwarves. You'd legally have to say that, by the way. It's offensive if you don't. It's politically correct.
But Noble, why is it called Dwarves?
You'll actually find out like a year or two from now, and then it'll make a lot of sense. And you'll be like, oh, that's why he called it that. Because it has no meaning right now, but then you'll understand eventually. Anyway, in the pre-podcast portion, welcome everyone to the show. In the pre-podcast portion, we're talking about things that bring us to sleep, and I was talking about writing jokes, which I would love to perform for you guys. I would love to perform it on the podcast too, but it's not done yet. And you know enough about my writing skills, enough about my joke telling that I'm probably putting a good amount of time into it. But what I've been doing recently is, I know a lot of comedians or artists or writers, they keep a notepad next to their bed and they actively write, or like people have a dream journal kind of, but I don't like dreaming, so I just exhaust my brain. I don't like dreaming. I have shitty dreams all the time. I like my daydreams because I can fantasize about what's going to happen, but mostly all of my dreams at night are terrible. I've been writing jokes. Excuse me. I've been writing jokes. I often will make up a song or freestyle or tell a story, like make myself the hero in some fantasy world that helps get me to sleep, or something else I've been doing, which is super weird. I think I might have brought it up before, but I think I might have brought it up before. You know when you're on the freeway and you see it's 9 to 12 at night, so it's peak dark hours, and you're seeing all the cars pass by you, all the flashing lights.
Yes, yeah. Oh, sorry, go ahead. Yeah.
Basically what happens within my mind when I'm trying to force myself to go to sleep, because I am always in work mode all the time. Like, I'm trying to change my life here, I'm trying to take care of myself, trying to take care of the people I love. So what I have to do to get my brain to sleep now is my body's always tired. I work my ass off, my body's always tired, but my brain's always tuned to go, go, go. Like, I need to figure out ideas, I need to write more things, I need to take care of more things. So all these ideas will be popping in my head, just like lights going past on the freeway. And what I'll do is kind of jump around from the ideas. So it'll be like, if I was just looking around the room, it would be like deodorant, Kyle's hair, hockey hair, talking about hockey, all the things that happened in hockey today. And then I'll go through those things and I'll just keep running through it until my brain goes, you need to shut the fuck up now. Like, you have to relax. Because that's the only way that I can get myself to sleep at this point, by actually exhausting my brain. Because my body's always good to relax, but I think part of it is spending too much screen time. But my brain never seems to relax, which I'm okay with because I have so much to do all the time. But the reason I brought this up is because we're talking about things to get you to sleep in general, and I thought that'd be an interesting opening, an interesting point to start the podcast with.
Yeah, I'm actually surprised. For me, so probably up until,
you should preface first with how easy it is for you to go to sleep, unless you're gonna get there.
I'll get there. Yeah. It was up until about senior year where I had a lot of trouble sleeping. I usually had to wake up around like 5:30 because we go in early for, starting in like November. We go in early for baseball, so we have 6 a.m. workouts and like practice and pitches and catchers to get our arms ready for the season. But the problem was I wouldn't fall asleep till like after midnight, so I was getting like 5, sometimes 6 hours of sleep. And for some reason, when I hit senior year, it just clicked, and I would fall asleep within like 2 minutes of hitting the pillow, like almost sometimes not even. And like, these are 13, 14-hour days of high school student. Like you get exhausted and after doing homework and stuff. Like I didn't miss a day of school. It was like nonstop all the time. And for some reason I couldn't fall asleep, but I don't know if it was like fully going through puberty and like growing up and like kind of growing up, I guess. Like I had a huge growth spurt. I started to like
Kyle
have
is 6'8", if you guys
relationships.
don't know, by the way.
Yeah. 300 pounds, by the way. So senior year, I'm able to get to sleep a lot early, and that carries right through to college. I don't have any trouble falling asleep. It was like, if I'm like really nervous, like the day before we had baseball tryouts, I was so nervous I couldn't sleep. Like I went for a run, came back, it was like 3 a.m. I gotta be up in 2 hours, and just like those days I don't count. But on a normal night, but the thing off my height,
Kyle could give you the other 8 inches.
God damn it. So then graduate college, still no issue sleeping, but fairly recently I haven't had an issue sleeping, but I noticed myself staying awake longer. Like I'll be just like sitting looking at the back of my eyelids, and I'll toss and turn for a few minutes before I actually fall asleep, which to most people probably is normal, but to me it was like, it felt like an hour, even though it was probably about 10 minutes. And I just start to think about mostly like
Hiding
I
bodies.
guess media stuff.
What?
No.
Well,
I
sorry,
don't need to think about that's second nature. I don't think like so recently I started thinking about like Among Us and like all the maps would play in my head and like running around doing tests.
That's
and
terrifying.
Stuff.
You're a terrifying person.
Thank you.
You're an actual crazy person.
I only dreamed of being a crewmate. Whew, save myself. And I think about like Rocket League. Like sometimes I would think about like Magic and like building decks and what would work. Like that was probably what I spent most of the time on. Is like thinking of the best combos and like
That's
will work
actually
well
pretty
together.
interesting because I think like as our brains progress, like when I was younger, when I was super into League of Legends, I used to have like the dream about hitting the Orianna ult in mid lane. Or when I was even younger, it would be like dreaming about getting the winning catch or something, the winning touchdown catch. But as I get older, I just like I try and actively think about stuff I like before I fall asleep because I feel like that will make me happier. So like I said before, living in the fantasy world, it's like I like to write. There's this, I'll never tell anyone about it or what the story is, but there's a story in my head that I've been writing for like 4 years now, where I'm the main character and I just go around and do cool shit. Like, yeah, that's pretty fun. And it helps me get to sleep too, because it's something to think about. But in addition to that, and because you brought up something, loud bike, go vroom. In addition to that, because you brought up something, Noble's Big Dick Adventure, you'd be surprised how close that is. You brought up anxiety or anxious behavior for baseball, and for some reason that translated to Christmas for me, because that was like the last time I would be anxious about waking up. Like I get anxious now about knowing that I will see my girlfriend in a few days. If you guys don't know, my girlfriend lives a few thousand miles away from me, so I'm always very, very happy to see her, and I'm anxious about that because like I can't get here. But I don't get that same feeling towards Christmas anymore, and I wonder if that's going to come back. I remember Bert Kreischer saying that he gets anxious everyone in here can help you build a PC, Eric. I remember Bert Kreischer saying he gets anxious about Christmas now for different reasons, and those are Brent Krongler's legitimate dog fucker, by the way. That guy fucks dogs, and he smells like shit. He said something along the lines of he gets anxious now because he's excited to give his kids Christmas. He also lied to his kids until they were like, his kids believed that Santa was real until he's like 13 years old. So I wouldn't take it that far.
Actually unreal.
I wouldn't take it that far, but I think we're kind of in like a weird middle ground right now, because when you're 20 to like 27 years old, you don't have kids, especially if you don't have a significant other. Shout out to all the lonely homies out there.
Represent.
Waking up on Christmas must be like, I've never really been a holiday person because family issues, but waking up on Christmas must be like, ugh. I started to dread holidays because I'm like, I've always not liked them, but I started to dread them even more because I want to give stuff to people that I love, but I don't have the money. So there's usually just an agreement like, I love you so much every year. I'll give you guys something when I can. I would love to spoil all of my friends, but that's not always possible. So the holidays still stress me out.
Yeah, it's kind of like I feel like people are starting to be more aware of it now. Maybe it's just because as we're getting older and the people we associate with understand it better. We're not like kind of young and naive and ignorant to what goes on in the world. But
To interject based on chat, New Year's is the worst holiday. New Year's sucks.
that's true. Chinese New Year's though. Ooh. Anyway, um, during the holidays, like people just panic, people overspend, get in debt. The suicide rate is a lot higher during the holidays. Just not just because like winter and cold weather and stuff, and like the homeless dying and the poor getting poor. It's like so obviously I work for a railroad. There's so many incidents where pedestrians get hit where you don't even hear about.
They get
Like
hit or they
you'll
jump
just
during the
hear
holidays.
they jump. They just say pedestrian hit because that's like
Oh,
the nice way of saying it. There's so many especially during the holidays, so many people just jump in front of trains. It's actually disgusting. Um, but it's like a real thing, especially like I'm so close to the city. I spend a good amount of time in the city. There's homeless everywhere that just like I've probably walked past people just dead on the street that like I thought were like, sleeping homeless people, because it's -5 degrees out with wind chill, and they're sitting there in just a jacket and shorts with no like. It's just sad,
all
and
right.
like
One of those
it's
is me, so I take a little bit of offense to that.
it's not -5 degrees in California ever, so you don't have to worry about that.
Why do you think people go by train?
What
Do
do
you
you
think
mean?
it's just like, do you think a wire just crosses? My chair's sinking. Do you think a wire just crosses in their minds and they're like, I'm gonna jump in front of this train? Or do you think they're like, do you
Oh, I thought you
think
meant like why do
beforehand?
people travel by trains? And I was like, there's so
I
many
don't,
ways. What
yeah,
do you
I
mean?
don't think getting hit by a train would be painless. I don't think
Oh
it'd be
no,
quicker either. Like, I'm gonna
it's
shoot myself.
no, it's painless. Like you don't but as long as the train's going like 40 miles an hour over, you die instantly.
So they
Like
just,
there in cars, there's like a give to the cars. Like the car breaks in a little bit, and then
uh,
like the train does not give. And like the train, like usually also like if you're gonna get hit by a car, the car is slowing down. The train can't slow down like that.
but you explode like internally. But there's got to be like 1 second before the lights turn off, doesn't there?
There's no way you could even feel it in time. Like if it's over 40 miles an hour, like there's parts of your body in
Do you
different
think it's
places. Like
just adrenaline and then you're out?
I don't even think you feel adrenaline. I think as soon as it
There's just
touches
no
you,
feeling.
there's nothing. That's it.
That's crazy.
As long as it's going a certain speed.
That's fucking crazy.
If it's going slow enough and it hits you, then like it depends where you end up. Like you might.
How the
I
fuck
work
does
for a
Kyle know this? Because
railroad.
he works for the railroad.
We had a 3-day orientation where one of the days they just talked about like 1.5 days they just talked about safety. That's like the biggest thing, obviously, because people work on tracks. Like people work on third rail, like live wire, where if you touch it, you're dead instantly. Like it's no joke.
Crazy.
People work on platforms where the trains are flying by at 60 miles an hour. Like,
That's
yeah,
technology advancements in general are just fucking crazy. It's so interesting to be like an educated human. You get around like when you start becoming, I guess, philosophical, less naive, but it's like it starts at like 13 years old where you really just like start becoming a human. But anywhere after that, I was just sitting outside the other night, enjoying my dessert. It was Greek yogurt with berries. Thanks for asking. Enjoying my dessert, and I'm just watching a plane fly. Watching a plane fly, and it's so normal to see planes fly all the time. But then I go on to say, how the fuck is that actually working? I heard you
I
swallow
think
that
about
milk,
that.
by the way. That's strike three. That's
Oh
strike
yes,
three right there.
we got it.
You and I won't be talking for a few days after this.
I think about that often actually.
That's fucking
I think
like
about
trains and
all the
cars
people
make
on
sense.
it.
Planes is like, what the fuck?
It is suspended in air, and there were people on that plane, and they all have individual lives, like hundreds of different people. Yeah, I actually want to I want to stop driving at night as much as possible because I have astigmatism. So like just the lights everywhere, just really brutal. Like when people put their high beams on, it's like I want to just crash. Like I'm okay with them crashing. Like that's how much I hate them. But the issue is like it's not that I enjoy driving during the day. It's just I kind of don't have a choice because it's like harder to drive at night. Like I get nervous actually. Like, well, if there's a small animal there, I can't really stop because I can't see anything. But
Small animal, child, ex-girlfriend, you know.
I get lost just like thinking about all the people passing by, just like going to work or going home or.
There's so many fucking people.
Too many.
It's absolutely crazy. There's so many people. The thing is, my windshield just fucked or something. Come to find out it's my dumb eyes. That's fair.
Oh my god, it's so true.
Stupid eyes. Why you know work good? It's actually so crazy because like, I love people. I don't really want to get to know people all the time, but I absolutely love people so much. And it's so crazy to think like these people just carry on with their life. Like to go, so if you ever travel, I am people. If you ever travel, just like anyone in here, if you ever travel once in your life, say the last time you went to Atlantic City, you're never gonna see those people again.
Yeah,
that's fucking mind-boggling.
I couldn't even remember their faces.
That's fucking mind-boggling.
Maybe like one or two people that are like, if I remember, like I sat at the blackjack table for a while, and I had the same dealer.
Whoa. Be politically correct, please. Dark check.
You got me. Like the dealer's face, like we had a friendly conversation, so I probably remember his face, but what are the actual odds that I would see him again? It's got to be 0.0000 something, you know? It's got to be very minute that like it's not worth thinking about, you know?
So this was based on the shopping cart theory, but that's like I'll give people shit online if the concept of Sonder. Yeah, that's actually my background right now on my phone is the concept of Sonder. It's just a bunch of cars passing by because I guess it reminds me to be nice to people or something. I don't know, but it's based on the shopping cart theory, and that's kind of the way that I operate. Where I'm so nice to just random complete strangers because not for any reason like I want to go out of my way to make their day. It's that, and I brought this up before on the podcast. My chair's sinking again. That they will go through their lives, and maybe it just affected them that day. Maybe they had a more positive day, and I'll never see that person again. But I did a good thing. I just treated someone with respect, and that's probably pretty important to them because it's shocking how much you don't know people need that. Like being 13 years old, being raised in the Call of Duty landscape. I was raised on the internet, as were you, so we know we know the real side of humanity, but we're also not. I guess like there's a better word here. Talk about Tyson Fury and how awesome he is. I will talk about Tyson Fury actually. That gypsy bastard. You don't know who that is, do you?
I missed something, yeah. I've heard the name before, but
it's where was I going with that? What was I talking about? Where am I actually? Let's just get that out of the way first. Where am I? Just sharing that kindness to people. Thanks so much for the follow. I appreciate that. Sharing that kindness with people. Oh, that's what I was talking about. Internet trolls. Where, again, to bring up his name, Brent Chrysler literally fucks dogs and smells like shit. He was talking about trolls in his DMs and how he responded to one of them and they started crying. Like, the amount of good behavior that I've given to people that were still negative, and like even people you saw it the other day, people were coming in here being racist, being trolls and all that stuff. I'm like, you know what, I wish you the best because you're obviously hurting. to go out and attack someone just based on the sense of anonymity, you're obviously hurting. There's obviously something wrong in your day, or you're obviously holding
Yeah.
onto a deep pain. That's why, like, the real form of shit talking should be talking shit with your friends or making fun of your friends, because you know what makes them tick. You can get under their skin. But just going out and attacking like some random streamer, like all the people that would attack Pokemon, for example. Or I saw a 4chan thread the other day. I don't attack people, eat a dick. I saw a 4chan thread the other day that was just like talking shit about Pokemon. It's like, why?
That's just 4chan in a nutshell, right?
It's We'll talk about that later because I probably don't want to elaborate too much about 4chan on stream. Because I don't go on the website. I'm too spooked too. I don't want all that stuff on my browser. Yeah, there's a lot of weight in this life to just being nice to people, and I wish that it would happen more. But at the same time, I'm not an idiot and I'm not an asshole, and I understand why people are dicks. So I'm not going to act better than now, especially if someone's having a bad day or a bad week or a bad year. Like, it's very easy to understand why people are dicks, which is why people over on the West Coast are so confused by people on the East Coast just being like so straightforward and so upfront all the time. Like, people are dicks. That's just the way it is, and that's okay. But to act like to act with a better than thou society, or to act basically like Reddit does all the time, which is one of the main reasons that I've deterred from Reddit so much, where they're so much better than thou, but they're also so politically correct, but you can also only like the things that they like, and if you say something off color that they don't approve, then you're frowned upon. It's like taking the humanitarian part away from all these people when the reality is like everyone's fucked up. And I think this is a good transition that you could pick up on. Everyone's fucked up. Everyone laughs at different shit. And for example, it would be like people in the military laughing at dark jokes, or about how you have a much darker sense of humor than probably most of the people around you.
Yeah, and actually something recently just happened. I don't know if you saw. You probably at least heard about it. Did you watch SNL?
No,
So
but I saw that Bill Burr was on.
Bill
I
Burr
watched
hosted
highlights. I watched highlights.
it. Okay. There was a huge backlash, of course, from people who thought he was going too far with his humor. And I was reading through like some comments. It wasn't like hateful comments, the ones that I was reading through. And it was someone made a pretty accurate statement, I think, regarding his jokes. Bill Burr got to the where he is, obviously not by pandering, not by catering to anyone. He just says what he says, and he knows it's funny, so he's gonna say it. And he got such a huge crowd, such a huge following, to the point where SNL came up to him and said, you know,
He's the best comedian that's never been on SNL.
Yeah, exactly. I think only him and Dave Chappelle can kind of get away with this kind of stuff, the jokes that they do anymore, at least, which is kind of sad. It's sort of like a lost art, I guess.
Well, it depends what you mean with get away. Like if you're on a mainstream leftist media platform like SNL that openly like bashes the right side, then I think that's different. But if you're just like in theaters or something, you're still gonna get backlash. But in theaters, the thing about stand-up shows is people are going to see you because they like you and they know what you do.
No, that's fair. I just mean mostly like not just show like something like Netflix, like something like that gets broadcasted everywhere. I guess sort of more like a internet type show. So he faced backlash, and it's just funny because if you get to the point where he is, it's not because people are going to have backlash that he's going to back away once he gets to SNL. He's already at that point in his career where he doesn't care what anyone else thinks. He doesn't care what anyone else wants to hear. He's just going to say his stuff. And the people who think it's funny are going to laugh, and that's it. And if you don't, then, grow up.
I have two things based on that, and then I want to go back to your sense of humor. Did you ever hear his famous Philly set?
I watched it multiple times. I will listen to it. You
So
can't
funny.
really see it because it's on like a bad recording.
Yeah.
But
if you guys don't know, Bill Burr, I guess you could say world-renowned comedian. Like he's traveled all over the world.
He's world-renowned.
Yeah,
sure.
very famous comedian. I don't remember the comic that they were shitting on, but They were shitting on a comic in Philly. Bill Burr comes up after, and then he just trashes the whole city and everything they're worth for 7 minutes. Just shits on them the whole time. Says, "Fuck you. Your mother's a cunt. You're all fat. You're all stupid. The Eagles suck. The Flyers suck." Just for 7 minutes. It's just him shitting on the city of Philly. It's absolutely gorgeous. But to that point, did you watch his opening monologue for SNL?
Yeah, I watched it.
It was hilarious.
Yeah.
It was so
I
funny.
think he's hysterical. He's one of my favorites.
He's absolutely hilarious.
His humor is like pretty much right up my, like, somewhere between a mix of him and Tosh is like, that's my alley. That's my set.
So Tosh for the quick stuff and Burr for the darker stuff.
Yeah, Tosh has got some dark stuff too.
Okay.
Yeah, but yeah, it's
the way that I see Tosh's humor is like he's just rolling through it, throwing things at you.
Yeah, it's his humor live's a little different from his show.
Okay. I have seen one of his stand-up shows.
Yeah. He kind of takes. It's funny because he analyzes himself during one of the jokes, and it's actually a pretty good. It's a fair analysis. He's like, he'll take a joke and it'll start broad, and then he'll slowly narrow his way in after every sentence till he gets to like one specific thing that like one person in the audience can relate to, and they'll just lose their mind. Oh, that joke had everything. Like, you know, this guy's actually turning a profit. I should go out and buy that. Like,
it's funny.
It's yeah.
If you guys didn't hear Bill Burr's opening monologue, by the way, it was shitting on white women, which honestly not enough people do. I don't know why more people don't do it, but not enough people do. It was shitting on white women. It was making fun of Corona, making fun of football, just being open and honest. It was an open and honest conversation, which is what comedians are there for. They're supposed to antagonize. They're supposed to make people laugh because if you guys have seen my videos before, I often talk about laughter in the face of adversity, which is probably why I make so many jokes all the time and terrible upbringing. But anyway, aside from that, what I wanted to relate back to is because I watched do you know who Chris DiStefano is?
I don't.
He's a New York comedian. You would probably love him. He's fucking hilarious.
I don't think I've ever heard of him.
He was on Your Mom's House recently, and I'll send you.
DiStefano or DiStefano? Does it matter?
It's DiStefano. I'll send you a podcast after this with Bobby Lee and
okay,
Andrew Santino. It's fucking hilarious. But he was joking about exactly, Air. He was joking about 9/11, and a bunch of people gave him backlash for it, and he goes, "No, dude. I was like, my mom literally worked in 9/11. I was like 13 years old at the time." And he tells his 9/11 story is fucking hilarious, by the way. I suggest you guys look that up. Chris DiStefano.
Oh, so he's got to be like what, 30, 31?
He's in his like mid-30s, probably 36.
Okay.
But it's the gatekeeping and the pandering. It's like you shouldn't joke about war, or you shouldn't joke about disease, or you shouldn't joke about disability. What if I had to think about this first because we're on Twitch? What if a mentally handicapped person is wearing a shirt that says, "I'm R word, and I'm so happy to be," something like that? Or it's like, what if a paraplegic is wearing a shirt that's like, "My brain still works"? Like, they can have a sense of humor. 9/11 was a huge massacre, so many dead in one day. This is true. They can have a sense of humor about it because they were a part of it. So you put these limits and you put these gatekeeping things on humor. It's like, maybe it's the PC culture, maybe it's the change of our society, but people are going to continue to backlash, and we'll still have an underground cult of comedy for so many years to come, because you see the pussification and you see all these people afraid to tell jokes, afraid to speak up, afraid to say their personalities because they're afraid that everything is going to be online. And then again, relating this back to you, you end up with people like your sense of humor, or how it's developed our sense of humor between you and I. If you guys don't know, Kyle's like one of the funniest people I know. We will just talk shit all day. It means absolutely nothing, and he makes me laugh more than anyone I know because he has a very similar dark, evil, just crude sense of humor, and we like that because that's what makes us laugh.
Say sociopathic.
Sociopathic. But I guess to that point, if you were traveling towards the West Coast and you find yourself in a lobby with a bunch of people from Oregon and you start making jokes, like, how do you think the reception would be? I don't imagine you would go with like full material right away where you're like, oh yeah, so abortion, am I right?
No, you would never. I don't think you have to feel out people because um
But that
the one
also,
thing I've
what I'm
learned.
trying to say is those wouldn't be your people.
No, I would probably not be friends with them. I could be friendly with people even if, like, I can't joke about 100
If I
different
can't
things
joke
that I
about
would love
abortion.
to. But the problem is I can never really connect with them. Because I'll always be stopping myself from saying things that will offend them. And that's not something I want to do. So it's sort of like I only want to surround myself with people that I don't need to filter myself. Like, they're okay with me saying whatever I want. And that's kind of like, oh well, that's kind of being selfish. But like, I don't need to be friends with everyone. I don't care for that. I just want to say what's on my mind and have fun with everyone. Like, I want other people to feel the same. So if that means I can't be friends with certain people because they might get offended, that's not my problem.
And
I
to
just won't
interject
be
on that
around them.
statement, just like within our friend group as well, there's obviously like certain things, but that's just respecting people. There's certain things that you would
Yeah.
filter yourself on. I'll get to Joe Rogan in just a second because I love him. Um, there's certain things that you filter yourself on, certain appropriate things. Like say someone's really the best thing about having friends that you care about a lot is like say one of your friends is really overweight or say one of your friends is out of shape. You let them work on that, you let them change themselves, they get into shape, and then you make fun of them for being fat for the rest of their lives. That's how that works. That's how it works in a good relationship. Like, if someone was ugly, you have a friend that used to be ugly, they got hot as shit. Like, bro, remember when you were ugly? It's not to hurt them or anything. It's just like a subtle jab. It's
Just
fun.
banter.
Yeah, it's literally just it's top banter, lad. That's all it is. So there's an extent that you have to filter yourself. Like how on college campuses right now, if you go, does anyone else hate Orange Man? Orange Man bad? And then you obviously fit into the groups because everyone's so progressive and leftist. Like I don't want to be forced to be that guy, which is why the community I surround myself with, or the people I surround myself with, or the jokes that I tell, or the jokes that I write, like they're for a very specific audience that will find stuff funny. Like they're not afraid to laugh because people are afraid to laugh now, and that's terrifying.
No, you're right.
Do you have an
But
opinion on Joe Rogan?
um, I my opinion on Joe Rogan. I like Joe Rogan. I'm not gonna call him Joe. We're not on a first name basis.
Oh, you guys are fucking tight, huh? You get steak together?
I like him. I like his podcast. Um, there are definitely things that I wouldn't agree with him on,
Mm-hmm.
but I think we'd be friends. I think he's the type that would be able to joke about and BS with whatever and have a good time.
Yeah, I think that's who is Joe Rogan. He's a prolific podcaster. He's a UFC commentator, Ultimate Fighting. Um,
Fighter, right? He doesn't fight anymore, does he?
he formerly did Taekwondo when he was in his 20s. He's
I know he
a
used to.
stand-up comedian. He's an actor. He hosted Fear Factor for 9 seasons. He was in
That's the best part, is that no one remembers that part.
Kevin James. We bought a zoo. He was in that movie as well. Um, he's basically just like for what he is. There's no bullshit. He doesn't sugarcoat who he is, and I
Yeah.
think that that's very very important. I think that he is a perfect example of the diversity within humans, and I think that he is a perfect example of um, of what a man could be for disenfranchised young men. Because Joe Rogan is all encompassing. He's everything. He likes to hunt, so he's open about that. He likes guns, so he's open about that. He's more centrist leaning on the political spectrum, so he's open about that. He wants to seek knowledge, so he has people on his podcast that are very interesting people that can tell him things that he doesn't know. In the exact same way, he believes in heavy drugs, and he believes that we're all just monkeys, and he believes in the Oonga Boonga caveman brain lifestyle. But it shows that humans are complex, which is one of the biggest issues with the social media world or current times. because you only show one side of yourself, or because you're only showing the Instagram picture of yourself, where I'm sure if you guys have sisters or girlfriends that see another girl on Instagram, they're like, wow, that couple looks so cute. That's like literally the perfect couple. It takes so much away and just puts a tiny little scope on things of what that relationship actually is or what that life actually is. And in reality, somebody like Joe Rogan identifies that we're all human. We're all broken, we're all fucked up, and we're just trying to laugh and get through it together. Maybe some of us take hard drugs, maybe some of us get hammered, but you're not going to judge people for that. Do you actually judge people for anything? The only people that like have no, the only people that can't find atonement for me within my mind are pedophiles. People that people that abuse women, animal abusers, and pedophiles. That's like the lowest of the low.
They're low, but like I don't know. I don't think about them. Like I think everyone can like. I guess it depends if you're asking like a religious aspect or a moral aspect. Like taking a religion out of it, I think those people should be like locked away somewhere. I think they have like a mental disability that should be taken care of. But do we even care enough like at that point? Like this the problem is there's just so many people in this world that like
There's a lot of people.
We have so much our resources compared to how many people we have is vastly different that we can never take care of everyone the way people should be treated. So it's almost like to the point where we should pick and choose who should get what treatment, but then the wealthy just get wealthier, right? Because whoever pays more is going to get the treatment, and that's always the way it's going to be. That's just human nature at this point. Not the people who need it the most.
If one of your friends, you found out that one of your friends was a pedophile and then they went away to get treatment and they tried to start a relationship with you again, do you think that you could do it?
I guess it depends on the offense, what the relationship was. Like I think each situation would be different. It would be very, very hard. And it
I don't think
wouldn't
that
be
I could
right
do
away.
it.
Like if they were like I don't even know. Like they're considered a pedophile for like I don't know what the age of consent is, but if they were to like fool around with a 16-year-old. Like they didn't know at the time.
Just for the sake of the argument, it's a 10-year-old.
Yeah, like that's like so sketchy that I probably couldn't. And it also depends. Like I don't know. I think I don't think I could decide until I get into that situation, but it would be
It's a really
probably nearly impossible.
It's a hard reach, right? Because like always in the back of your mind, it's gonna be
like
is this
I
guy
can never
still
be like
a piece of shit?
them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially for me trusting.
There's no way they
too.
could get help that quick to where they would come back in my life and I'd have time to decide.
Yeah, they just plop back in after 6 months. I don't want to fuck kids anymore.
Yeah, I don't trust that. Yeah. I want to say yes because I do think that people make mistakes. People have lapse of mind. Like there are moments of weakness to everyone, but like that's stuff like that. It might be just on a different level. I guess it just depends, but I'm leaning towards probably not.
Have you ever played an improv game before?
Improv game?
Yeah.
I don't think so.
So I saw this idea the other day. Last night. It was on the Bad Friends podcast. I thought that it would be interesting for us to try. Do you consider yourself decent at improv? Have you ever tried improv before?
I've never tried it, but I watch a lot of it. I watched a lot of Whose Line?
Oh yeah, you're a big Whose Line guy.
Big Whose Line guy. I've never done it just because like it's never been a thing for me and my friends or anything.
Basically, how the game works is we're gonna tell a story and keep it flowing, but we only get to use one word. So you don't get time to think. You just roll through.
And we go back and forth.
We go back
one word at a time.
Yeah.
That's tough.
You think you can do it? You wanna try?
It's gonna be slow.
You wanna try?
Yeah, sure. Why not?
All right. We'll do it all one day. You know what we could do? We could do it like whenever there's a group of 10 of us in Among Us or something, and then if someone fucks up, we just vote them off. That'd be fun.
Do we have like a topic on the story? Like
you just go. So
So it could be about anything.
Yeah, I'll go. I'll start, and then you just go.
Not having a topic makes it even harder. I think. Sure. Let's do it.
Okay, you ready? So you just like within 2 seconds, you need something.
Yeah, like almost the first word that makes sense, right?
Yep. We're not starting it with you. Okay, Eric's actually a dumb person. Doesn't know what's going on. We're trying to tell a story here.
It's a made-up story, right?
Yeah, we're trying to tell a story. Allegedly, I might have killed the guy. It's a made-up story. Whoa! Careful with the hard R's in chat.
Jimmy, come on.
Can you use the words someone else used? Yes. Are you ready?
Yeah, as long as it makes sense, right?
Yeah. Ready? Long.
Ago.
In.
A.
Galaxy.
Far.
Far.
Away.
There.
Was.
A.
Planet.
That.
Needed.
Oxygen.
Down.
Under.
The.
Crevices.
Of.
My.
House.
There.
Was.
A.
Lack.
Of.
Oxygen.
We.
Needed.
To.
Go.
And.
Secure.
The.
Supplies.
So.
We.
Could.
Live.
That's not bad.
You threw me off when you said end. I thought there was going to be a place after go, and then you said end. I panicked.
I should have typed this in a Word document. That's what clipping's for, Eric. And go back and clip it for later. We're definitely
right to Among Us.
Yeah. We're definitely you're a sociopath, by the way. We're definitely gonna try this. See, the difference is that just turns me on when you look at me like that. We'll have to try this with a bunch of people, and then we just vote people off. Just an Among Us improv round. We should do that today. If we have enough people, we'll do it for 1 or 2 games because it'll be so much fun. It'll be so much fun. You want to do one more, and then we'll go back to podcasting?
Yeah. Are you hopping off after this and like eating and stuff, and then coming back on for Among Us?
I'll relax a little bit, like maybe 5 minutes or so, but then I just want to gather people for Among Us.
Oh, okay.
Well, I have school at 12:16. See you, chat. Take it easy, Eric. Thanks for stopping in, buddy.
Hey, Eric.
Ready? Late.
One.
Night.
My.
Dog.
Ran.
Towards.
My.
Fridge.
To.
Get.
Me.
A.
Beer.
Is Bud Light one word?
2 words.
I.
Thought.
That.
He.
Could.
Open.
The.
Fridge.
Surprisingly.
He.
Doesn't.
Make.
Any.
Progress.
Because.
He.
Doesn't.
Make.
Have. Doesn't make have. Not saying make. Why do you keep saying make?
It's the first word that popped into my head.
Doesn't make. Enough.
Of.
How are these the first words that pop in your head? What are the sentences that go on in your mind? All right, we're starting over. We're doing one more.
It doesn't make enough of an effort to get into the fridge.
Who thinks like that? I was going to go because he doesn't have arms.
Oh. Oh, then that's better.
All right, one more. That one was completely your fault.
Yeah, that one was scuffed.
In.
Wait, did you say win?
In.
Oh, in. Okay, in. My
Childhood.
there
Was.
a
Heavy.
man
I.
wanted
To.
grow
Up.
like
This.
man.
Unfortunately.
I
Found.
the
Nudie.
magazine
Under.
his
Bed.
I
Unzipped.
my
Sweater.
and
Dropped.
my
Underwear.
to
Lather.
up
My.
toe.
Because.
I
Have.
a
Severe.
problem
Which.
cannot
Be.
solved
By.
anyone.
Doctors. That's actually my favorite children's book. In my childhood, there was a heavy man.
It's a Dr. Seuss one.
I'm gonna write that children's book. In my childhood, there was a heavy man. Oh,
Do not like this man, Sam I am.
fuck, that's funny. We somehow got out of that pedophilia hole real quick.
Oh god, I got nervous.
Oh, my face hurts.
Just had to avert. Avert.
Oh, I don't actually know what time we started. Let me see if I can go back and check.
6:30.
So we're an
4:30.
hour in right now. Do you want to start taking chat questions? Do you have anything else for me? Oh, that's funny. I know that you might have been lingering on some stuff for a while, but if you want to save it, I don't mind.
I kind of forgot it.
Bearable.
Yeah, it's kind of come and gone at this point.
Here's an interesting thought for you before we take chat questions. Because like I don't like wearing tank tops on stream because I don't want ethos to just come in here and hit on me. Would the attention that you start getting girls, well, the podcast blows up a year from now, you start getting girls sliding in your DMs and Twitter saying, "Hey, I want to bang you. Here's my naked body." How does that make you feel? Genuinely.
Confident.
I mean, they'll just like you because they're trying to get to me, of course, but it makes you feel
Yeah, right. Like if you're like people like that like want.
Does it make you feel confident because that means that you're like somebody, that you're in a position of power and people are attracted to that?
Not a position of power. I mean, it's just like, you have an extra strut in your step because there are people out there that
Want to shaboink
whether
you
it's
because
whether
of who
it's
you are?
yeah, for your looks or like who you are, they're attracted to your personality. Like, I think it would be funny to mess with people. That's for sure. Like, think about it, that's so much content in every DM.
That is a lot.
Think about it from
content.
a business standpoint.
That is a lot. Oh,
yeah, that's the goal, right?
That the next nude, I'm just gonna draw eyes over the nipples and then draw a smiley face. Like, I hope you have a nice day. Oh, that's not okay.
I mean,
I'll ask if they're 18 first.
That's okay.
And then draw the smiley face.
Asking the real questions.
You want to take chat questions? That was all I had. This is the portion now of the show where you guys can feel free to ask any chat questions. Yes, I will be writing the book In My Childhood There Was a Heavy Man sooner rather than later. But if you guys have any questions for Kyle or myself, or you want to ask anyone any other questions in chat, or you feel like you have something that you really want to know about us, or just whatever you might want to get our opinions on, then please feel free to ask, because we always do a Q&A portion at the end of the show to make sure that we're inclusive. Can I be the main character of the book? You cannot be.
I mean, if he wants, he could be the heavy man.
Who is the lesser gender? NASCAR. Wait a second, that's not how that joke goes.
The limit does not exist. There's too many of them.
Oh, nice. Nice save. Nice save.
We love you, Twitch.
Can I tell you I want you and send you my naked body? Not if I send you mine first. That's a real thought. Ball's in your court now.
He's not wrong.
Will your body still be alive on arrival?
Yes, please God say yes. Disgusting.
Disgusting. I brought up
Shitty Jim's been known to be funny.
Shitty Jim makes goofs from time to time. Never gaffs though. He's not a gaff guy.
Never. Well, come on. It's rare to be a gaff guy.
Shitty Jim. I did a subreddit review the other day, and I'm gonna start balancing. This is just like to tell you more stuff about my show, but I'm gonna start balancing.
There's only one. Let me interrupt. There's only one Jim that's a gaff guy. You know who that is?
Jim Gaffigan.
Thank you. Go ahead.
I've been talking about. Well, I've been writing about it. I've been talking about it. I've been designing it.
Finish your thought.
I am. I'm just thinking about how to finish it. I'm changing my stream into a lot more of a show in the coming days. Part of that comes from watching like Ludwig or Hot Chubby.
I like Ludwig.
To see how they produce their shows, because it's not really like a stream for them, it's a show. Or I guess like Shroud is a streamer and Ludwig creates a show every day. He's not a streamer in that sense. So I was thinking about like how I can incorporate both of those, because I want to do both of those. I did a subreddit review, which I think I'm gonna start adding too, because it's fun. Like chat laughs, it's free videos every week. In addition to the chat challenges I do, or all the Among Us content I've been uploading. But I did a sub review the other day of shitty food porn. It's just edgy. It's shitty food porn is a terrible subreddit. It's just edgy, and people see it in my next video. It's just like, oh, I boiled noodles in Powerade. Look at me, I'm so haha XD funny comedy man. But then there was other one that was like a microwave egg. It was Chinese food, and it was microwave egg on top of Chinese food, and they had the meal ticket inside there, so then the pen was imprinted on the egg.
Oh my god,
that was funny.
That is good.
What's your point on Gacha Life / club? I don't know. Do you know
I just
what that is?
looked it up because I've never heard of it before.
I know like it's Japanese. I think
it's a phone game.
Oh, it's those. Oh.
Battle monsters play mini games.
I mean, if people, what are you asking? What my point would be?
It just seems like
it's like people can do whatever they want. It's not for me.
Japanese Digimon. I don't know what it is.
Isn't Digimon already Japanese? Does that make you a racist?
Was it?
What other race would make Digimon?
Digital monsters.
How much would it cost you to shave your head? How much are you offering?
Yeah, it's Japanese.
I would look great with a shaved head. How much are you offering?
Is he talking to me?
Have you ever shaved your head before?
I used to be like crew cut. I used to keep it regular.
Yeah, long ago, but you've never shaved your head before?
Never. I've never been bald, no.
What's your price for a chest tat? I will get your name tattooed on me for $20, Shitty Jim, but I won't shave my head for anything less than $100.
Wait a second.
The children's game where you create scenes. On the real though, what's my price for a shaved head? Probably a few $100. Like I would like people to pot it so I could actually make some money out of it. What's my price for a chest tat? I don't think I'll ever get a tattoo.
But you can't wear a hat next time you stream.
That's not a big deal. The only time I ever wear a hat when I stream is because I don't do my hair. That's a secret for all of you guys know.
but
the concept, I literally don't. There's like
I don't
weird
know
sides
the
to communities or concepts. I literally don't care. There's no amount of money that would make you get a chest tat.
there's an amount of money.
Yeah, there's an amount
We
of
just
money for
haven't
sure.
identified yet.
Like I've sucked dick for very cheap, so there's an amount.
Yeah.
Did I say that out loud?
$2. I can do it.
Huh. I thought that, not said it. The amount of money that would make me get a chest tat, like probably double-digit thousands. Like if it's gonna set me up for the future, then I'll do it. It also depends on the size of it.
Yeah, the size and
If
what
I'm
the
getting a
tat is.
huge swastika in my chest, probably not anytime soon.
You mean the second one?
Whoa, take it easy. I'm gonna have to take my shirt off to prove to Twitch mods that I'm okay.
I swear I'm good. Flash.
Why did you show your tits on stream? I had to prove there wasn't a swastika on my chest.
Sorry.
Overcharging.
Delete the
It was a secret? Yeah, we'll have to delete the VOD again. By the way, actually speaking of that, you know who's a real piece of shit when it comes to streaming?
Cody.
Cody. Cody's a real piece of shit. We have to delete so many VODs because of that little fucknut.
I deleted one just because I wasn't sure, and then one I had to, so it was 2.
That guy, the idiot.
He's a little.
Okay. Well, let's be kind first, because if you guys don't know Cody, he's a little bit slow.
You can see him in the top right of the screen.
Yeah, he's a little bit slow. He has some mental disability, so we won't be too hard on him. I'm actually his legal caretaker. But anyway, do you think that the Western culture over-sexualizes, overemphasizes the significance of the female nipple? It's not even the Western culture. It's just in the U.S.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's just the U.S., right?
Yeah, it's just the U.S.
I think it'll change over time. It's just
The U.S. is the only country that openly displays violence but hides nudity. It's very strange. So Western culture? No, Shitty Jim. Not Western culture.
The U.S.
Now you're a bigoted racist, Shitty Jim.
All of Twitch knows too.
Yeah. I don't think that has anything to do with it.
I think that's so irrelevant that I can't even allow it. Because I have some kinks for you.
Just now what, Shitty Jim? What are you saying?
What do you mean my nostril is sexual? Sorry, I'm done. I'm not clicking allow.
I'm gonna go ahead and deny that for now. Well, luckily it can't come up with a normal stream chat, which is good.
Yeah.
Dude, reading the block... Ooh, nostril play. Reading the block sexual terms. Added block term, sexual, me, him, her, ... come.
Imagine learning how to code. Couldn't be me.
Holy shit. I think that we'll just, unless anyone else has any questions for us, I think we'll just start slow transitioning over our sexualities, but also slow transitioning over to Among Us. No? Is that not in the deal? That's in your podcast contract, by the way. I want you to know that whenever I make you sign a podcast contract to be like, we have to do a certain amount of shows for a year, you have to interact with the community, blah, 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 we have to work on merch together, I'm going to have your lawyer read it, but I'm going to pay him off. And I'm going to have something fucked up in there.
I'm going to have you know that I'm going to pay someone to do everything else that you just asked me to do.
That's okay.
For sure.
But somewhere in there, in the very fine print, it will say that Kyle Jordan cannot eat pizza on Sundays, or he voids his contract. Just something to completely fuck with your life. Or like you can only shower with a specific type of soap. Just something so unfortunate.
No, that I can't do because I use medicinal soap. I used medicinal shampoo.
Oh, so it'll kill you? 100%. 100%.
Well, it won't kill me. It'll just make me so irritable. I would rather stop doing the podcast than
100%. That's a good idea. That's a good idea. Just like, I don't want to...
I'm writing the contract. No way.
Kyle, it says here that you gave yourself 15%. Yeah, but he can't do anything fucked up to me anymore.
It's worth the 35%. You don't know him like I know him.
That's really funny. You don't know him like I know him. What was I gonna say?
You're gonna roll an ad for ad time?
No, I'm gonna do that after the podcast. Hi, Chris. If anyone else has any questions, then we can roll with that. But I think that will be it. We'll give it just a minute. There's something else that I was gonna say, but I can't remember what it was off the top of my head. I'll roll ads. Shut up. Um. Oh yeah, I'm not a jerk. I'm not a sociopath. I just like ruining people's lives in subtle ways.
Ruining friends' lives.
It depends on the person. But like, I'm not gonna go out of my way to break your legs. Like that's just fucked up. But I would eat all of your deodorant and then just repackage it like that. Who does that hurt more?
Is that worth it?
If it were completely possible for me, I would take all of the deodorant out of there. I would melt it, then freeze it into one big block, and then I would give that to you for Christmas. And I would leave that repackaged like that. For no other reason, because you could put it back in the tubes, it'd be fine. You just lose a little bit of deodorant. For no other reason than it would probably take 15 minutes out of your day and inconvenience you.
I think what I would end up doing is probably just like trying to get it back to a form where I could just use it as a huge block. So when I'm applying deodorant, it's like
See, that's the thing though. It still mildly inconveniences you. Because every time you put on deodorant, you're gonna have to go grab a paper towel to use the huge block of deodorant.
I would have to like make a container or something.
Yeah. 100%.
Yeah.
But then I inconvenience you, so now you have to. The old lady's saying, "Why is there a container of deodorant in the bathroom?" It's like, oh, it's fucking noble. Don't worry about it.
Yeah. You would put on your hat, and the stitching would just fall right through. You pull your hat down halfway through your face.
I don't want to ruin anything. I'm not a monster.
What? No, I'll re-stitch it for you. But you'd better believe I'm gonna get that clip online.
What clip
of
online?
You putting a hat through your head.
As long as it's not this hat, you can do any other hat. But as long as it's not this hat.
How many hats do you have?
This one.
I knew it.
All right. Say goodbye to the beautiful people. I'm going to take a short break after this, and then we'll roll over into other games.
All right, everyone. I'm gonna go start my stream. This has been swell as always. Thank you guys for hanging out. We will be back next week.
Probably on Tuesday again.
Tuesday.
Until Kyle ruins.
Tuesday going forward for the time being, because we're just such good friends and we always look out for each other.
Kyle's been ruining my life.
Yeah, Maddie, Aaron, thank you guys. Appreciate it. And we'll see you in a little bit.